Dan, we recently did a 75-day challenge where we drank 1 gallon of water every day for 75 days in a row
75 days,
during the winter.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, I would say it was too much for me.
Yeah.
It was really difficult to get 75. It was really difficult to get a gallon of water down every single day.
Every single day.
In the winter, I wasn't sweating. I wasn't feeling like I needed that amount of water. Was it too much? What do you think?
Yeah.
How much water should we be drinking?
Everybody should drink half their body weight. That's a great way to gauge how much you're getting.
Okay.
Half your body weight every single day in ounces will provide enough water. Our bodies need water. It's the most important nutrient that we can
Can't
take.
live without it.
Can't live without it. There are days you can go without eating food, but within hours, your body will feel the side effects of not having enough water.
Yeah,
That fatigue, that brain fog, that lack of energy, because it's all about perfusion. It's all about how our bodies, our cells, our organs get fluids to them to bring the nutrients and the oxygen, so we need our water.
A lot of times I find if I'm hungry or I think I'm hungry, I'm actually just thirsty.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're a little dehydrated and you're feeling that sluggishness, that feeling of lack of energy. And you think you need sugar, you think you need food, but that's not true. 60% of our body weight is water. And when you look at our individual cells, 66% of all cells are water. If you don't think that's important, that's very important.
It is.
Number one nutrient.
So great. Okay, so we know why we need to drink water. What water are we going to drink? There are a lot of options. When we were growing up, there was one option, tap.
The tap.
Bottled water, never heard of it.
Right.
So what water, like at home, what water should we be drinking?
It's
and when
a
we're out?
huge industry, water.
Yeah.
It's becoming, because people have become more and more aware of how poor the water quality is in their towns. And it's easy to look it up on the internet if you want to find out in your specific town how good the water is, because they test it at least every other year.
Yep.
And they publish it, and it's public knowledge. What you're really looking for is you want to make sure you drink some type of filtered water, because despite what town you're in, and here in Eastern Massachusetts, we have some of the best water quality in the whole country, if not the whole world.
Yeah.
And even our water has contaminants like chlorine or excessive fluoride. And then in the ground, we have so much radon. We always have these radon detectors when we buy homes, but that radon gets into our water and can be very carcinogenic. So we have to look at our city's water report to know how bad the tap water is and whether you should be utilizing it at all. I mean, my recommendation would be you should always drink a filtered water.
We the Center for Disease Control has a list of so they have information on water, and you may be able to find more about where you can get more information for your particular town. And also, Dan, we have a reverse osmosis filtration system we've had for years, and so that's what we are using.
Right. The most common filters are those pitcher filters that people use from various companies that they put in their refrigerator. Brita would be a good example.
Yep.
Those are carbon filters, and those are great to remove most of the contaminants, especially things like chlorine.
I know,
out of the water.
Like our college kids have had, like when they
Brita filters at school.
That
it's
way
an easy way, very portable, very convenient, and very inexpensive. We use reverse osmosis that also has a carbon filter attached, and reverse osmosis is the gold standard. It removes all of the contaminants, whether those contaminants are the radon, the chlorine, the lead, the fluoride. It brings the water back to pure water.
So now we're out and we need to drink some water, right?
Yes.
And we're really forced to get something bottled. Whether we take it from our home, we can take that. That's great. That's a great option. We do that most of the time.
Yes.
We'll just take our own water.
Put it in a water bottle.
Put it in a water bottle. We tend to put it in a glass or metal, trying to avoid plastic, or at least being aware of which plastic bottles are better to use than others. And then, but sometimes you just need to grab a bottled water. So help the people evaluate which kind of bottled water, what do they be looking for in their bottled water?
It's interesting because again, the industry is so big. There's so many different brands out there, but they publish exactly what quality water they have. And the two things you're really looking for is the pH, and you want the pH to be neutral, 7.0. The pH scale goes from 0 to 14, and right in the middle, 7 is neutral. And remember, it's a exponential, so that from a equation, so that the difference between 7 and 8 is 100 times more alkaline, or from 7 to 6 is 100 times more acidic. So a pH that changes by, let's say, 0.2 or 0.3, that's 30 times more. In either direction. So be aware that slight changes in pH are hundreds of times of acidity or alkalinity. So you want something that's neutral, in the 7 to 8 range would be perfect.
And that's usually right on the back of the bottle. They'll have that?
Not always. Usually you can find it online. So if you just Google, pH of common types of water, it'll list the bottled waters and what their pH is.
So you can, if you offered 3 different varieties, or you're at a store and there's 3-4 different varieties, you can simply Google those if the information isn't on the back, and you can figure out or find out what the pH level is.
So that's what we do. We just have our brands that we like, and then once you have your go-to brands,
you don't have to look it up anymore.
You don't have to look it up anymore. And then the other big issue is this alkaline water. Everybody wants this alkaline water, and there's been some marketing and advertising saying that alkaline water is superior, that it's going to help your body from being acidic. And we all want to prevent acidity in our bodies. We function better in an alkaline environment, and more importantly, cancer can't live in an alkaline environment. So the more alkalinity we can get in our bodies, the better. So pH isn't really a marker of alkalinity. It is one point in time of what the alkaline or acidity of that water is. But how can it buffer? How can it take the acidity out of your body has to do with the alkalinity properties of that water. So that's where all kinds of other things come in too, like the total dissolved solids. So you want a pH that's above 7. You don't want to go into that 8 or 9 because you're just wasting your money on expensive water. Your body's going to neutralize however they made that water more alkaline. But you want alkalinity, so the total dissolved solids, the TDS in water, you'll see that, it's published everywhere, will help tell you, not only for taste, because that is a reflection on what kind of either lead is in the water, chlorine is in the water, what are the solids that are in that water besides the H2O molecules, and it really influences the taste the most, but it also helps with the alkalinity and how that body of water will take out the acid in your body.
So what are you looking for? I mean, you're looking for a number?
Right. So you want a number that's somewhere around 300. Once you get above 500 or 600, that you can taste that metallic taste in the water. It gets really dangerous if it gets above 1,000. So you want to keep it low, and you want to keep those properties to help you alkalinize your body.
So
an alkalinity, a total dissolved solids of 300 or less, or right around 300 is excellent. And then you want that pH to be neutral. Somewhere between 7 and 8 would be optimal.
All right, great. So, you can look it up on a variety of waters, and you can see what those numbers are. And then, you can do your research before you go out. So then that way, when you do go out and you find yourself at a convenience store, grabbing a bottle of water, you can know what you go to waters that are going to be, or if you tend to stockpile some water in your home so that you can have bottled water ready to go, you'll know what kinds to get.
And then the whole question of, is it mineral water, is it spring water, or is it filtered water? And if I was to say to put them in a rank order, filtered water is always the safest. You kind of know where it's coming from, or that it's been manure or manipulated so that it can be a better water. Spring water, you have to know the spring. So you have to look that up. And then mineral water, many people advocate for mineral water because some of those minerals are very healthy to us. So I would say maybe not every single time you drink water it should be mineral water, but it's a pretty good idea once in a while to have mineral water and get those minerals. We don't need a lot of minerals in our bodies, but our bodies definitely need trace minerals. So getting mineral water is also a very healthy option.
If you do like to go and get some water, this is a very cost-effective way,
Yes.
typically, to get fresh water, spring water. You can find springs.com. I believe
Findsprings.com.
Okay, findsprings.com. And you can see if there's a spring in your area where you can go and you can get some containers,
Glass containers,
and
glass
then,
bottles.
Yeah, and go and fill her up.
Yeah.
And then you'll have, fresh spring water, at your home all the
That
time.
is healthy,
Yeah.
that is rid of any chemicals, from the earth, or even chemicals from agriculture, or chemicals even from factories that are in your neighborhood that you're not aware of, that are contributing to the cleanliness or lack of cleanliness of your water.
With all this talk about water, Dan, I don't know about you, but I'm getting thirsty. I mean,
here's to some good drinking water and plenty of it. That's good.